Tonight on CTV News, growing wildfire danger.
We've potentially got some tough days ahead of us.
The next few days could bring trouble for the wildfire fight. Which parts of the province are seeing record levels of drought?
There's a power asymmetry here.
Plaza politics, questions about how quickly this public plaza was approved by the city. A CTV investigation reveals how the mayor's office was involved.
I did hear somebody say, you hit me first, and then that was it.
A suspect on the loose after a stabbing on a public bus. What triggered the brazen violence that sent a senior to hospital?
This is CTV News with Mi Jung Lee.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. There is growing concern tonight about the worsening drought conditions in our province. Farmers are worried about what extreme drought could mean for their livelihood. Meanwhile, climbing temperatures and lightning in the forecast is not good news for the province's wildfires. CTV's Rob Buffum has the story.
This wildfire burning near Boston Bar, one of more than 20 active fires scorching BC, triggering evacuation orders for 300 properties. So far, 25,000 hectares have been devastated by flames this summer, a fraction of the damage at this time last year. The quieter season attributed largely to the weather and preventative measures.
Let me be very clear. We cannot be complacent.
Because trouble is on the horizon. High winds and dry lightning are forecast to strike in the next 48 hours, targeting the southern parts of the province, where the vegetation, fuel for flames, is driest.
We've potentially got some tough days ahead of us, and now is the time for all of us to come together and support one another.
Meanwhile, officials are also concerned about drought conditions. Some rivers are at record low levels for this time of year, notably on Western Vancouver Island and the Thompson-Okanagan region, where aquatic ecosystems may be threatened if water levels continue to drop, resulting in the province potentially ordering commercial use restrictions.
Temporary protection orders remain available as a last resort.
The specter of water restrictions worries cattle ranchers like Brad Chappell in the Comox Valley.
Many people that, all of our livelihoods depend on it. And, we feed the food you eat.
And while it's too early to predict whether life-threatening temperatures are on the way this summer, hot weather is definitely coming.
We do know that we're expecting a period of elevated temperatures, and people can have sensitivity to those temperatures if they're medically vulnerable, if they're very young, if they are an older adult.
With the concerns about the weather and potentially significant wildfire behavior, an open campfire ban is coming Thursday at noon for much of BC's south coast.
And Rob Buffum joins us live from Victoria. Rob, how did the province explain the relatively low number of wildfires so far, despite record drought conditions in some streams and rivers?
Well, Mei-Jung, this time last year, there was about 100 more wildfires in the province, eating up about 700,000 hectares of land compared to just 25,000 hectares this time around. A lot of those fires last year, however, were in the northeast part of the province, eating up a large swath of territory there, and many of them were fires that had carried over from the previous season, burning slowly through the winter. When asked today how many fires could get started in the next couple days because of this dry lightning and conditions, we were told it could be as many as 100 to 150. So very quickly we're going to see similar numbers of fires, but very unlikely that it'll be the same amount of territory that's covered. Mi-Jung.
Yeah, we'll be keeping an eye on the conditions the next couple of days. Thank you, Rob. The man accused of killing an RCMP officer in Burnaby 4 years ago appeared before the BC Review Board today for a hearing on his fitness to stand trial. As CTV's Ben Milger reports, the board must now decide if the evidence it heard is enough to rebut a trial judge's finding that Jong-Won Ham's delusions made him unfit.
Since late April, Jong-Won Ham has been receiving treatment on a secure unit here at the Forensic Psychiatric Hospital in Coquitlam. A fitness hearing heard testimony from a treating psychiatrist and a social worker who have been working with Ham since he arrived. Ham is accused of killing Constable Shaylin Yang in this Burnaby park in October of 2022. Yang was a mental health outreach officer and was in the park for a wellness check on a man sheltering in a tent. She was stabbed and later died of her injuries. In April, BC Supreme Court Judge Michael Tamman found Ham unfit for trial, saying, Mr. Ham is currently very clearly overwhelmed by delusional thinking, which prevents him from making the fundamental decisions that all defendants must make in criminal proceedings. A psychiatrist told the review board Ham has been receiving low dosage of antipsychotic meds at the forensic hospital since late May. He testified Ham still refuses to discuss certain important issues which led the judge to declare him unfit. A lawyer for the director of BC Mental Health and Substance Use Services suggested the evidence is not sufficient to overturn the judge's decision and requested a 12-month custody order for Ham to receive more treatment. Ham's lawyer agreed, while the Crown urged the board to consider rebutting the judge's finding of unfit. Ham declined to testify on his own behalf. The board says it will take a day or two to weigh the evidence before making a decision and notifying the lawyers, and then posting written reasons to its website in the next few days. Ben Milger, CTV News, Coquitlam.
At least one suspect is at large following a stabbing on a bus in East Vancouver this morning. Lauren Pullen is following this in the Breaking News Center. Lauren.
Mijung police say they responded to an altercation on board a TransLink bus just after 10 a.m. near East Hastings and Kootenay Street near the Kootenay Loop Exchange. One person, a senior citizen, was taken to hospital with stab wounds. Police say the extent of the man's injuries are not known as he is still receiving medical care. CTV News did speak to a man who lives in a building above that crime scene about what he saw.
I did hear somebody say, oh, you hit me first, and then that was it. And then I guess they took off or whatever. But yeah, a lot of cops showed up, and I didn't know it was anything more than that.
In a statement, the Metro Vancouver Transit Police said that there are no suspects in custody at this time, and police are still investigating. Meech.
Thanks for this update, Lauren. One of two women involved in recent e-scooter crashes has died, prompting a reminder from Vancouver police that helmets are required by law. Police say a 30-year-old woman died Saturday, 8 days after crashing a scooter into a vehicle near Commercial Drive in Venables and hitting her head on the ground. In a separate incident Sunday, a 54-year-old woman suffered a head injury and broken collarbone in a collision involving two e-scooters. Police say neither woman was wearing a helmet, which very likely would have prevented such severe injuries. Vancouver City Council is hearing from residents as it considers the capital plan. The Park Board approved its part last night, and now councillors are weighing the $790 million worth of spending ahead of the October election. CTV's Yasmin Gandam has the details.
With the municipal election looming, Vancouver Council is focused on bricks and mortar issues.
I mean, I think pools and recreation centers are big assets across the system, and they're expensive, and we're not seeing those sort of, prioritized across the system.
The plan covers major road, sidewalk and sewer renewals, upgrades to the Cambie and Granville bridges, overhauls for 5 aging community centers, and construction of a new fire hall.
There are many facilities that have been waiting for nearly 20 years to be prioritized in a capital plan, and they have once again been bumped.
The plan was approved at Monday night's Park Board meeting, but now it's up to the city to make the final call.
There's probably going to be some differences of opinion here at Council as to whose advice we should follow.
The vote comes after Mayor Ken Sim backed down on his plans to abolish the Park Board.
Instead, we're running Park Board candidates in the upcoming municipal election to modernize and fix the elected Park Board.
Voters in October will be asked to sign off on the $790 million worth of spending included in the $3.5 billion plan for 2027 to 2030 capital spending.
Researching and paying attention to what's happening now actually creates even a higher level of urgency.
With more than 100 speakers signed up to speak on the plan, a vote is expected at the next council meeting. Yasmin Gandam, CTV News, Vancouver.
To a follow-up now on a CTV News investigation that raised questions about the surprisingly fast approval of a temporary plaza in East Vancouver. New documents obtained under Freedom of Information laws reveal involvement from the mayor's office, putting conflict of interest questions back in the spotlight. Our Isabella Zaffarisi has the exclusive details.
Public plazas are a popular spot to pass the time, but they're not quick to set up. Back in May, we told you about this temporary plaza off Fraser Street.
On the weekends and stuff, like to go to these things and just hang out and talk and drink coffee. And
this plaza came together in just months. Now, CTV News has internal documents from the mayor's office that the controversial location saw pushback from staff.
There's no place for them to drop off their kids for our classes.
Around the location and fire safety, it went ahead in May with adjustments in what appears to be the fastest approval on record.
I think there are really three things that strike me as important in this story. The first is the relationship between elected officials and their political appointees and staff. The second is the question of conflict of interest. And the third is whether the outcome serves the public.
A public servant was involved. The mayor's director of communications is still a partner in the neighboring pub. He made the request before going to City Hall.
It seems very unusual to have a plaza like this approved that quickly and then to see a direct connection to the mayor's office.
Including the mayor's director of operations. Connor Doherty asked staff for a meeting with engineering for a discussion between OGI, engineering, and the mayor's office. The mayor's office wouldn't grant us an interview, insisting everything went according to standard process. But internal memos suggest staff may have felt pressured. One staffer wrote, the mayor's office seems interested in this and to treat Doherty like an elected official.
There's a power asymmetry here. The staff naturally want to please the elected officials, and they want to do their best. They don't want to alienate members of council or the mayor.
A source tells CTV News they've never seen the mayor's office so involved in a temporary space.
It's very important that when you are elected, you understand that that the appearance of a conflict of interest can be as damaging as the reality of a conflict of interest.
The plaza's future is still unclear. Isabella Zavarisi, CTV News, Vancouver.
Still ahead, a fresh wave of strikes in the Middle East renews pain at the pumps as the price of oil rises, the energy crunch, and the road ahead for gas prices later tonight on CTV News at 6. First, let's take a look outside at English Bay. A little bit of haziness, but still very picturesque, and it was a beautiful day. Stephanie?
Yeah, we're really seeing these temperatures heat up, and we're still holding on to those temperatures out there right now. If you look at the current temperatures out there, we are well above seasonal. It's very warm out towards those inland regions around the lower mainland. We're going to continue to see that heat rise over the next several days. Hotspot today was Kamloops at 36.9 degrees. That was just for BC. And then here we look at the next basically 24 hours taking us in tomorrow. So we have another nice day tomorrow, similar temperature. We hit 24 degrees today. It's later in the week, but we do have some rain to tell you about. So stay tuned for the full 7-day coming up.
But tomorrow might be a good beach day, right?
Definitely get that beach day in and then changes after that. A little bit. Squeak in some change.
Okay, thanks, Stephanie. A helicopter pilot from BC has died in a crash while battling a wildfire in Colorado. CTV's Michelle Bernaro has more on what happened and how he's being remembered for his work and sacrifice.
It was a somber procession in Grand Junction, Colorado, with dozens of first responders honoring 56-year-old Nicholas Dale of Souk, BC. According to the Gunnison County's Sheriff's Office, Dale had been battling the large, out-of-control Gold Mountain fire when the tragedy unfolded July 12th. The KMAX helicopter he was piloting, similar to this one, crashed. The married father of two would not survive.
My deepest condolences go out to his loved ones, friends, and everyone in the aerial firefighting community who is mourning this tremendous loss.
A preliminary report from the Federal Aviation Administration says the aircraft crashed under unknown circumstances, becoming inverted in Silverjack Reservoir. In a statement, Colorado's governor calling Dale a brave frontline fire aviation pilot and stating that state flags will be ordered to fly at half-staff on Nicholas's memorial date to honor his bravery and sacrifice. The Colorado Fallen Firefighters Foundation will honor Dale along with 3 other firefighters killed battling fires this year.
It impacts you. You know this is a dangerous job that these folks do out there.
Here in BC, the chief pilot at Talon Helicopter says he did not know Dale personally, but he knew of him.
It always hits close to home when we hear about another helicopter accident, so sad to hear.
He says aerial firefighters do their best to help people and communities, but there are always risks.
With aerial firefighting, we have hazards like smoke, fire, usually really strong gusty winds. Fires can create a lot of turbulence in the air. Visibility can be an issue. So it can be a difficult job. It can be a dangerous job.
The National Transportation Safety Board is also investigating the Colorado crash. Michelle Brunoro, CTV News, Vancouver.
The latest pitch from the Vancouver Whitecaps to make more money from BC Place so the team won't be sold to another city. Also ahead.
This is my team. This is what we know, football.
Two powerhouse nations face off in the World Cup semi-final. Many favored France going into the match today. Highlights and reaction from the FIFA Fan Fest. And questions about why two top teams at a U17 soccer tournament were disqualified. It's all about their bizarre performance on the pitch. When CTV News at 6 continues, stay with us.
Mikel Oyarzabal strikes first for Spain!
A penalty kick in the 22nd minute, getting Spain on the board first in their semi-final matchup against France. La Roja would double their lead with a goal from Pedro Porro in the 58th minute. France unable to break the Spanish defense. The final score 2-0. Spain now goes on to the World Cup final on Sunday, and so far they've only allowed a single goal in 7 games. Local fans of the beautiful game took one of their last opportunities to view the match en masse. The FIFA Fan Fest in East Vancouver was hopping, even though World Cup dreams were dashed for about half the crowd. Our Dimitra Maragos was there.
FanFest was packed with anxious fans waiting for their favorite team to clinch a spot at the FIFA World Cup finals.
I'm feeling so good, like this experience is amazing, and to live here, the match is amazing.
This is my team, this is what we know, football.
Some even flying back from France in time to take in the beautiful game on home soil.
I just got back here just to celebrate with my Canadian fellows, which I'm also Canadian. Allez les bleus! Allez les bleus!
No official crowd count from organizers, but it appeared to be about 2/3 full, with a 50-50 split between Spain and France fans trying to out-cheer each other. While Spain was up at half, France fans didn't seem phased.
I'm not worried. I'm not worried. We're going to come back.
It'll be okay. It'll be okay.
But the tide seemed to turn, Spain scoring their second goal to 0 and sealing their fate for the finals.
Just going crazy! One more, maybe one more year. Let's only one more match.
And France fans seem to agree they were outplayed during Tuesday's game.
I'm sad, but it's football, you know. So we play bad today, but Spain deserve the win. They play good, and I think they will win the World Cup now.
Spain is set to play defending champion Argentina or England on Sunday in New Jersey.
I feel really happy that Spain won.
So happy right now.
Like happy right now. I've been waiting for this moment for a very long time.
Dimitra Maragos, CTV News, Vancouver.
The final Vancouver whistle may have blown in BC Place, but the numbers are still rolling in. TransLink says the World Cup put Metro Vancouver's transit system to the test, with one day in particular standing out as the busiest. More than 600,000 extra boardings were recorded during Vancouver's 7 World Cup match days. Around BC Place, SkyTrain ridership jumped 54%. That is the highest seen since the 2010 Olympics. The busiest day came on June 24th when Canada faced Switzerland with nearly 1.4 million boardings, making it TransLink's busiest day in more than 6 years.
We noticed after the first match that a lot of people were going to Granville Street, more than we had anticipated. So what we did is for the next match and for all of them after that, we started parking empty buses so that we could handle that capacity on Granville Street and in the downtown core, and all the people who were also traveling to the C-Bus.
TransLink says extra service, additional staff, and nearly 2 years of planning helped keep people moving throughout the tournament. It also says some upgrades, including enhanced trip planning features through the transit app, are here to stay. Days after a provincial youth soccer championship match, questions remain about the decision to disqualify two top teams. The controversial call denies some of BC's best young players a chance to play for a spot in the national championships after video of a match triggered a firestorm. Ben Nesbitt has the details.
Okanagan FC and Saanich Fusion's U17 boys teams had already secured their spots in Sunday's championship game at the BC Soccer Provincial A Cup. But the two sides had to play each other in a final round-robin game the day before. This video, which was eventually removed from social media but sent to CTV News, shows the two sides appearing to just be killing time on the field. We've blurred the footage to protect the kids' identities. BC Soccer held a disciplinary hearing for the two teams after the game and suspended them each one match, replacing them with the third and fourth place teams in the championship game. The winner of that tournament gets to represent BC at this event, the National Championship, which will be held in St. John's, Newfoundland this fall. But those two clubs were denied that opportunity. Okanagan FC has accepted its punishment, saying in a statement, it unequivocally does not condone the behavior of our team during the match. We wish to clearly state that Okanagan FC fully accepts the decision rendered by BC Soccer. We must take responsibility for our actions and use this as a profound learning moment for our young athletes who have otherwise represented the club in an outstanding way over a number of years. Parents of Saanich Fusion players, however, say that the video posted online is not an accurate representation of what happened. They tell CTV News they're seeking legal advice and considering an appeal. Ben Nesbitt, CTV News.
Trouble for the leader of Alberta's separatist movement. Why a judge has frozen his assets. And
this issue is not new. 3.5 years ago, we launched a campaign called Unpaid Work Won't Fly.
A protest by WestJet flight attendants ahead of a strike vote this week. If they approve, how soon they could be on the picket line. That's ahead. A provincial judge has temporarily frozen assets belonging to the leader of Alberta's separatist movement. $8.5 million belonging to Jeffrey Rath and his company are now inaccessible. The ruling stems from a court battle between Rath and Tall Cree First Nation over trust money from a treaty settlement. Court documents allege the money in question was intended for minors. None of the claims have been proven in court, though the opposition NDP believes it's enough to warrant the Premier kicking Rath out of the UCP.
She should make it very clear that people like this do not belong in a governing party. It speaks to the character of the people who are putting forward these messages that Alberta needs to consider separatism.
A further hearing is scheduled tomorrow. Both Rath and Tall Cree First Nations chief declined comment. The union representing thousands of WestJet workers held a day of action today. Hundreds of flight attendants demonstrated outside the airline's headquarters in Calgary as members prepare to vote on a potential strike. CTV's Alicia Fieldberg reports.
Their lips are sealed, but their signs speak volumes. 250 WestJet flight attendants stand together in silent protest outside the airline's Calgary headquarters. The union says the 4,400 WestJet flight attendants it represents want to be paid for all of their work.
People understand that when you're at work, performing safety-sensitive, regulated work, you should be paid.
Right now, they're not paid before the aircraft doors close, so do up to 35 hours of unpaid work every month. The airline says the hourly wage they are paid is created to compensate their work in those hours. An aviation expert says that wage has not kept up with inflation.
Union at WestJet flight attendants is saying, listen, we have to catch up.
WestJet agrees the contract needs to be updated.
Award a contract that makes sense for a flight attendant, that they feel valued, that they feel well compensated, but that also is sustainable for our business.
After 11 months of negotiations, the company and union have not reached an agreement, so union members are deciding whether or not to strike.
This is not the place we want to be, but we also can't continue on the archaic system known as the flight credit system and not be appropriately paid for all of our hours' work. It has to change.
Last year, Air Canada flight attendants went on strike over similar concerns. It lasted 3 days, impacting about 500,000 passengers before the federal government ordered them back to work. Air travelers are bracing for another potential disruption.
I mean, I do understand it's frustrating. for some travelers, but it's important for everybody to get fair pay.
If they're on that plane and they're working, they should be doing their job and getting paid whether they're on the ground or in the air.
No matter the disruption, passengers in Canada have the right to receive compensation, including getting a flight with a competitor.
You are about to travel and your flight is cancelled. You have every right to be rebooked on a competitor airline if WestJet is unable to rebook you on its own or partner airlines.
Alicia Fieldberg, CTV News, Calgary.
How a young Pokemon fan hit the jackpot because of a packaging error. How much it could earn for him. Also ahead, he wasn't invited to Taylor Swift's wedding, but he's found a way to capitalize. How cubes of trash from the extravaganza turned into cash for him. That's ahead.
Time now for tonight's Skywatch. The CTV drone flying high above Colony Farm in Coquitlam on another sunny summer day in the Tri-Cities.
CTV Skywatch is brought to you by Kermac Collision and Autoglass, the name you'll remember when it matters. Kermac cares for kids.
They say one person's trash is another's treasure, especially if that trash has anything to do with Taylor Swift. New York City artist Justin Genak has been collecting, packaging, and selling garbage found on the streets of the city for years. He wasn't a guest of the exclusive event, but he dressed the part, picking up litter in a tuxedo from around the perimeter of Madison Square Garden. The trashy trinkets, packaged in Genak's signature small cubes, sold out in just over 24 hours at $25 a pop. Okay, that's strange. Do you get to pick which box, or is it random?
I would say it would probably be a mystery bag.
Yeah, it could be like a napkin, a soiled napkin.
If he's a smart businessman.
And it seems like he is. He knows his market.
But I mean, it doesn't look like it was just trash. It looked like there was actually some, swag from the wedding. So there you go. People will pay that Swiftie price, So we've got a pocket full of sunshine. It's warming up. We do have some active weather, that risk of thunderstorms. We are in that season. We could be seeing some of those tomorrow through Soyuz, Thompson, Okanagan, expecting potential for a few showers tomorrow day. Here we are with a new yellow warning for air quality for the Fraser Canyon South, including Lytton. So poor air quality there, even a little hazy outside right now. Here's a look at the rain tracker. This specific forecast model is showing that we could be seeing anywhere between 11-17 millimeters of rainfall. This arrives late day on Thursday, late in through the evening and overnight into your Friday morning. So the potential is there for some showers along with some thunderstorms, lightning potential as well. If it roars, stay indoors. 20 degrees for Port Hardy, mostly sunny skies. It's going to be another beautiful day where we were at yesterday as far as by the water, which was 24 degrees. Inland, though, reaching 30, feeling more like 33 with that humidex. So the heat is on. It's going to be a very warm one, and this is just the beginning of what we're going to be seeing, the trend in the next several days. So up to 30 degrees tomorrow. Again, those inland temperatures really soaring, and with that humidex, going to be very hot. UVs come down a little bit at 7 tomorrow. We will see some cloud cover in the mix, but the 7-day, that's what you want to know. It's going to get hot. We do have that risk of shower. We'll take the showers minus the thunderstorms and lightning if at all possible. Mother Nature could just do that.
Yeah, we'll definitely be watching to see what those lightning strikes do for the wildfire situation.
Yeah, not good.
Okay, thanks, Stephanie. Well, we told you last night it would go for a lot of bones. One of the most complete T-Rex fossils ever found just sold at auction for more than $50 million U.S. The skeleton, dubbed Gus, is now officially the most valuable dinosaur fossil sold at auction. Gus measures about 12 meters long and 4 meters tall, with a skull of 54 inches. It was excavated on a ranch in South Dakota between 2021 and 2023. And believed to be 67 million years old. The buyer hasn't been identified, but paleontologists say the sale of the skeleton to a private bidder would be a detriment to science. A comic book relic just nabbed a record-setting price at auction. Heritage Auctions announced one sheet from a 1963 comic issue introducing the world to the Iron Man character for the very first time, sold for a record-breaking $3.875 million. No word on who the buyer was. A Pokemon card packaging error ended up providing a young fan in central Alberta with the surprise of a lifetime. The young collector opened what's known as a God Error pack during a Pokemon card pre-release event. All cards in this special pack are above a certain rarity, but due to a packaging error, this particular pack had 11 copies of the same extremely rare gold Mega Darkrai X card.
This is not normal, and especially like my Brian, who works in the store here too, he's the Pokemon guy, and he says, yeah, like that's probably the only pack that's going to come out like that for this set. So it is like, like a 1 in a whatever 10 million kind of a thing.
Resale listings for the card range from $600 to $800, making his pack worth more than $7,000. The Pokemon Mega Evolution Pitch Black card set officially releases on Friday. Pretty lucky boy. The roller coaster ride of gas prices is headed in the wrong direction when you might want to fill up. Also ahead.
Imagine receiving $35,000 every month without hard work, without risk.
AI deep fakes are all over social media. It can be hard to tell what's real. The growing number of people getting scammed. That's ahead on CTV News at 6. Taking a look at today's markets, a jump for the Canadian dollar now trading above 71 cents U.S. Oil was up $1.20, trading around 79 a barrel. Gold saw a $64 bump. On the stock market, the TSX up 67 points. The Dow Jones just gaining 9 points on the day. A huge blow tonight to BC's lumber industry. Canfor has just announced the permanent closure of a pulp mill in Prince George. Canfor says the closure of the Northwood pulp mill is a result of a structural shift in global pulp markets and challenges in fiber supply. It will result in a yearly reduction of about 300,000 tons of northern bleached softwood kraft, the industry's premium benchmark pulp. About 300 employees in Prince George are directly impacted. With tensions high in the Middle East, gas prices across Canada are expected to start ticking upwards tomorrow and continue rising later into the week. Beginning at midnight, fuel prices are predicted to rise by between 5 and 10 cents per litre. Vancouver is expected to see one of the highest expected averages at just under $2 a litre, while one of the cheapest averages will be found in Edmonton at about $1.65.
We are seeing the effect of a shortage, of scarcity, of an energy crunch. The world is quickly running out of oil, available oil to meet demand.
The renewed strikes on key assets by both the U.S. and Iran in the Gulf has been a driving factor behind the rise in oil prices, rising for a second consecutive day. AI is making it harder to know which videos are real and which ones are fake, which is why you have to be careful where you get your information. Videos on social media often promise ways to get rich quick, but most are scams designed to steal your money. CTV's Pat Foran has more.
Imagine receiving $35,000 every month without hard work, without risk, without wasting time.
This is the latest deepfake video going around online with Prime Minister Mark Carney. Well, it appears he's pitching an investment platform in the House of Commons. Criminals have used AI to create this fake video to scam Canadians.
2 months ago, I deposited just $350 into my account. Today, my balance is $70,000.
It looked exactly like Mark Carney. It was Mark Carney.
Deborah Friesen of Acton says last year she was watching craft videos online when an ad popped up that appeared to be the Prime Minister speaking about an investment opportunity.
He said, I'm really trying to help out my Canadian people by helping them to make extra money on this trading platform.
Friesen was scammed out of $13,000. Later, she was contacted again by someone who called her every day for months. She took another chance and was scammed out of $70,000.
And then he disappeared. I fell apart. I couldn't stop crying.
It's so frustrating, so devastating.
Judy Skeen saw a fake Mark Carney video on Facebook. She invested and was scammed out of $900,000.
All my money was gone.
Do not ever invest on anything or in any situation that arises out of social media.
Cybersecurity experts recommend reaching out to people you trust before making any investment decisions or large purchases.
Make sure that in your family you have 1, 2, or 3 people that you have on speed dial and you can call them immediately.
Be very cautious with any video seeking your money, and know with AI, creating deepfakes is getting easier and they're becoming more realistic. Pat Foran, CTV News.
With the FIFA grass long gone, the Whitecaps make a pitch to run BC Place. Plus, beyond the Burl, Adam finds out how a Duncan man created a lasting legacy for a beloved tree. Next on the Sawatsky Sign Off. Right now, here's a preview of Your Morning Vancouver.
Well, is Canada striking the right balance when it comes to paid sick days for employees? Wednesday on Your Morning Vancouver, why one country is moving to require doctor's notes more often and how sick days are impacting productivity and mental health. Plus, what you need to know about the rapid rise in tick-borne diseases. We'll see you in the morning.
Talks appear to be heating up between the Vancouver Whitecaps and the province on a new way to keep the club in town. A local soccer journalist is reporting a new proposal between the Whitecaps and Pavco, the provincial crown corporation that owns BC Place. The plan would give the club greater control of the stadium, helping it generate more revenue and making the team more attractive to potential buyers.
My understanding is that the Whitecaps have now submitted an offer to Pavco with the view to taking over the running of BC Place. They would take over the operations of the stadium.
He says the club would also take on event scheduling, including concerts, and work with the BC Lions while sharing revenue with Pavco. The Whitecaps have been for sale for more than a year and a half and have long argued their lease arrangement at BC Place limits revenue. The club didn't confirm the proposal to CTV News, but said discussions with the province about increasing matchday revenue are ongoing. The province also wouldn't comment directly on the report, but said talks have made progress over the past 5 months. The Snowbirds have put on one final show in their hometown of Moose Jaw before being temporarily grounded.
I think there's some extra nostalgia here that this may be the last show for quite some time and potentially the last time to see the Snowbirds officially out of Moose Jaw.
A massive crowd braved the heat at the Moose Jaw Airport for the last public performance in front of their hometown crowd, at least for the foreseeable future. In May, the federal government announced the Snowbirds would be grounded until at least the early 2030s, allowing the team's aging Tudor jets to be retired and replaced. A British-born baker is getting into the World Cup spirit with these amazing FIFA-themed creations. Ben Cullen, who goes by the Bake King online, recently showed off how he created a cake that looks exactly like the World Cup trophy. And he didn't stop there, also crafting this cake, a near-perfect replica of the Oddities Trionda, the official World Cup ball.
I feel like we're
I was going to say, we got to bake one of those for Sunday,
yes.
right? You're going to be in the kitchen baking one of those soccer balls?
I'll let you do that.
Number. Okay, well, it's time for Living Large, our new weekly segment showcasing dream homes across BC and what it would cost to call them your own.
Tonight, we're touring some of the most luxurious listings in West Vancouver.
Well, you know you are living large when your house has its own name. The iconic Clovelly estate has been listed for $9.5 million. With European-inspired architecture and stately stone facade, this 4-bed, 6-bath property is considered one of West Vancouver's most distinguished homes. And if the 7,000-square-foot residence leaves you feeling a little cramped, you can escape to the landscaped gardens, infinity pool, or nearby Stearman Beach. Lovely.
I feel like you could get lost in that house, though, right? You need a GPS to find your way around.
What wing are we going to find you in?
Okay, if you are looking for something a little more modern, how about this oceanfront estate designed by esteemed architect Ian Davidson? This 4-bed, 4-bath property will cost you nearly $11 million. Nestled in a private cove, you can enjoy views from downtown to the Gulf Islands from multiple terraces. And when you are watching the sunset from every angle, you might just forget all about the price. I doubt that. I don't think
those views might be worth that price. You could throw the biggest summer barbecue in town at this 11,000 square foot estate with a nearly 5,000 square foot patio. It has 5 bedrooms, 7 bathrooms, plus all the other essentials like a koi pond, 5-car garage, and outdoor and indoor pools. And like every good family home, it of course has a yacht garage with private elevator access.
Wow. Assuming, because with a house like that, you have to have a yacht, right?
Necessity.
Think of the entertaining you could do.
Incredible.
You would lose people all over the house, right?
I do love a good party. I will take one of those just for that purpose.
Exactly. Okay, we'll get to the Sawatsky sign-off in a moment. But first, Lauren, what's coming up tonight on the Late News?
Well, Mijung, there's a packed house at City Hall right now as a public hearing is underway with council looking into a villages plan for denser, more walkable neighborhoods, touting all of your needs pretty close to your doorstep. But it would involve major rezoning for commercial residential spaces, and it has ignited a lot of debate already. We'll have more on the impacted areas and all that reaction tonight.
More than 170 speakers or something like that. It's going to take a while. Okay, thanks, Lauren. Well, what started as a giant tree burl has become a huge part of one Duncan resident's life. Decades after digging it up, the man is looking for a new home for his one-of-a-kind natural work of art. Adam explains in tonight's Sawatsky sign-off.
That last time Glenn McLeod sat on his beloved tree's bulbous base, he had to say goodbye.
It was a horrible feeling. I knew that I couldn't save it.
The tree that had helped turn his family's house into a home was dead. So Glenn wondered if he could find a way to keep its legacy alive.
And there's all kinds of stuff you can do with burl.
Glenn thought he could maybe turn the growth at the base of the trunk into a couple commemorative bowls, until he discovered the burl was growing 3 feet underground.
So I thought I'll dig it out by hand.
By hand with a shovel?
Yeah.
Because despite being a professional backhoe operator, Glenn felt compelled to keep the 6,000-pound burl intact.
A lot of people thought I was crazy.
Yet 3 weeks later, he did what they said he couldn't. And then, despite no previous experience, Glenn started transforming it.
I knew that one day I was going to have something there.
Glenn sanded and polished the burl 20 hours a week for more than 6 years, revealing patterns in the wood he found mesmerizing.
It helped me mentally, I think.
It was part hobby, part therapy, and for the hundreds of people who visited the burl after noticing it at the end of Glenn's driveway, it was all good.
Labor of love is what most people call it.
And then there was the one person who called it inspiring, after wrapping her arms around it, wiping away tears, and revealing she'd just beaten cancer.
And she said, "This reminds me of that because you've taken something that was basically dead and you've just brought it right back to life."
The next chapter in the burl's life, however, is unknown. Glenn has to downsize and is hoping someone from a university or airport will find a place to display it publicly.
I can't sell the house and leave it here unless somebody wants to buy it and have a museum here.
Although it has already left a legacy here. After Glenn found a baby tree sprouting near where the burl once grew, that he planted where its parents once stood, where it's now thriving.
So that's my way of giving it back to nature, you know?
It's gratitude, Glenn says, for all the joy the burl's brought, and hopefully continue to. Adam Sawatsky, CTV News.
The Sawatsky Sign-Off, brought to you by 1-800-GOT-JUNK. They make junk disappear. All you have to do is point.
Wow.
Very creative.
I'm sure somebody will swoop that up for display somewhere. It's too unique.
I've never seen a story done completely on a burl.
Yes. No. If you haven't, wow. Well, this is a very impressive photo here. It'll make you want to hit the mountains, our local mountains. This is right in Garibaldi Provincial Park by Squamish. Beautiful photo sent in by Peter Frankenberger. If you'd like to send us your photo, please email scenicsnapshot@ctv.ca.
Stunning. Have you guys done that hike?
No.
Camping overnight and all that? Neither have I.
Love to.
On the list.
All right. Thanks so much for joining us. Have a good evening.
Good night.
Good night.